Hey there, everybody. Peekaboo. Yeah, it totally slipped my mind that there is a vanishing ghost there on New Game Plus, so I wanted to go ahead and capture that really quickly before we continue on back into the Manor of Sleep to find out a little bit more about the story.
This dream again.
Yeah, we are still within the first hour of the story, and that means we start off in relatively the same location, but things will be a tad bit different as we head on through the Manor of Sleep. Catch another quick view of that escaping woman. Can only hope that the tattooed blue lady isn't somewhere nearby. But before we continue following her to the main plot, there is a little optional thing to get back in the sunken fireplace room. And it does give me an opportunity to explain another brand new feature, somewhat questionable feature of Fatal Frame 3, and that is going to be brought up by an item that we're going to find right underneath the stairs here. Now obviously this item wasn't here before, but this item will actually reappear on every subsequent time that we now enter and exit the mansion. And that is primarily because, considering that we're not in an actual tangible place, our inventory is kind of under the whims of some unknown force. Now we do start off with this little default setup here of type 14, type 7, and herbal medicine, but it will reset every time we enter and exit the dream world. That's why this herbal medicine we just found is a prime example of reappearing items that will always be in a set location. So if we ever needed herbal medicine or type 14 film, we can find it in key locations throughout the mansion, and it will become very necessary later on to keep track of those. But that isn't our only reason for coming in here. There is an easily missed vanishing ghost that requires us heading up these stairs just a little bit. Yet again, it's that young girl that we saw with her mother beforehand. But that's all we needed on this area of the mansion. Also, we have been accruing quite a few points from all the vanishing ghosts and the little bit of combat we've been doing, so it gives me a prime time to look at the camera screen for the game we're in. Now, a lot of the basic features or functions we have seen before. Max value is how much spirit power you can charge up, range is the capture circle, and sensitivity is your overall power. Now, I'll be explaining store later on since that is relatively new to the game, but for right now, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the max value and sensitivity. And it's especially important to upgrade sensitivity as this game bases a lot of your points around just the sheer amount of damage you can do to the enemy. Though if we do look at the points we're going to be needing, we are definitely going to be needing a lot as we progress through the game. For now though, we have gotten all that optional stuff out of the way, and we can continue on after that mysterious running woman. little sound was not only indicative that we are on the right track, but that does indicate to us that, well, that door that was sealed by a powerful force is now open to us. But if you look at Ray's vision, kind of indicates that there is a little hidden cache of Type 14 film there, and that is another set of items that will be there on subsequent nights. So if we need Type 14 film, it's always going to be there. We can now head into brand new territory. Making sure to be extra quick, as this running woman can be pretty troublesome to catch in regard to being a vanishing ghost. Even more so if you're not ready as you head up the stairs. She will appear very quickly yet again. As we continue to follow her, our viewfinder starts to react to something. And we see here what appears to be an impaled doll, but is actually this game's version of a ghostly sealed door. Much like in previous games, you take a picture of a sealed door and it shows you another, hopefully nearby location, where you will take a picture of something else, and in turn, it will unlock the door. The good news is, as this is still pretty much a tutorial section, what we need to use to unlock that door is actually pretty close by. Now that doesn't mean there aren't other places where we could examine, like upstairs there, but clearly from the picture we saw, it looked like it was somewhere further downstairs. Also, we see a door down there, though it seems to be blocked off by what appears to be a dresser. Just plenty of places we're going to be visiting in the future, but for right now, we have only one other location, just right downstairs here. We see another shining item. And this is a very important item that we have seen in other Fatal Frames. And returning from Fatal Frame 2 is the alarm equipment. This will allow us to get a visible signal as to when a Fatal Frame opportunity is open for an attacking ghost. And much like in Fatal Frame 2, we can chain together shots to do additional damage and get additional points. More importantly though, see that we have interrupted one man's swaying party. And we now have a new unlocked door. So I do like the little touch here. You can see blood through the camera, but without the camera, clean wall. Also, we can find another locked door here. Needs yet another key that we currently do not have. Though Ray for some reason marks it down in her notebook. Not really missing much there, just pretty much restates, hey, I found a door underneath the stairs and there was some weird moaning coming from behind it. But we now have our second encounter with this ghostly mother. And it allows us to use that new alarm feature to get a good view of when her fatal frame is available. You may notice, though, that taking a immediate picture afterwards is not triggering the combo. And that's for a very important reason, in that the combo system has been changed from Fatal Frame 2 to 3. Now, I am kind of missing these combos purposely, but we will be seeing later that the combo system has been made a tad bit difficult in Fatal Frame 3. Good news is that either way, she still does not have that much health and isn't that difficult to get down. You can already hear some ghostly voices.
What are these tattoos?
Something is definitely over there, but I'm not sure what it is.
Too late. I can't escape. Please, help me. Help me. I didn't want to survive.
Ah, it's that woman that we've been chasing
I
around.
haven't done anything. The tattoos. I can't escape from my dream.
Now, before we get too close to her, I do want to go into this little sectioned off bedroom area here,
My fault.
as there is a special hidden away item,
Oh no.
and it's our first piece of upgraded film, the Type 61 film.
Can't escape.
This is one step above the Type 14 film in regards to power and reload speed,
Survive.
but let's go ahead and see if we can't get some information out of this woman.
The tattoos. I can't escape from my dreams. I didn't do anything wrong. It's not my fault.
Yeah, she doesn't appear to want to talk to us, but
These tattoos
even in her silence, we have managed to get a little bit of information on her.
late. I can't escape.
She is a Japanese citizen with the last name of Takagawa.
I didn't want to survive. I haven't done anything wrong.
Still, though, it makes me wonder,
Can't escape.
does Ray know this person in real life, or what is she doing in our dream?
Anything wrong.
Sadly, she isn't going to be too much help, so I guess we're just going to have to continue and explore the mansion a little bit more.
No, it's too late. You should wake up. Please help me.
Yeah, that tattoo on our back just continues to grow. Can only assume the worst from all that, but who knows? Maybe Miku has some kind words for us, so let's just go ahead and head downstairs and see if we can't talk to her. Or it seems like Miku is out at the moment. But it does seem like she did leave behind a note here. She is still looking for some information on that woman we took a picture of, and she was nice enough to leave us some food for the day. Still, I'm not very much on eating right now. I think I want to continue exploring the house a little bit more. Maybe seeing if the kitty cat would want to play with us today. Come on, kitty. High five? Alright, maybe some other time. Anyway, we'll go ahead and explore the other parts of the house. Or we'll get a phone call. I wonder who it could be.
Hello?
Ray, it's Miku.
Yeah, it seems that Miku has been able to gather some information on a Yoshina Takagawa, survivor from a plane crash that happened recently and seems to be in a coma in a nearby hospital. Seems oddly coincidental that we happen to be having a dream about her.
I heard from the hospital that she's been asleep for a long time, and no one has been able to wake her.
I don't want to anymore.
Did you go to the hospital? Mm-hmm.
And just like that, Miss Takagawa is gone. Covered in tattoos, stuck in an eternal nightmare. We really weren't able to garner too much information from her, but at least we were able to piece together who she was and the fact that, well, she was a real person somewhere. Still, though, I have no idea how she happens to be connected to Ray or connected to the manner of sleep. Really, there's no real way to find out outside of heading back into the dream world. So back in the dream world, we find ourselves in a very similar location. Yet again, a few more minor changes here and there. But considering that we are in a reoccurring dream, Obviously, there will be a little bit of backtracking. I do kind of could have swore I was seeing an item on the other side of these bars here. Maybe we'll head into those corridors at some point. For right now, though, I do want to head back into the sunken fireplace room. It may have been a bit hard to tell, considering we didn't get too good of a view inside that room where we found Miss Takagawa before, but we had actually seen that room earlier on. Also, while we are over here, we can pick up that herbal medicine, just in case we run into any difficult fighting. Yeah, if you recall that corridor where we found the sealed off room and the young girl locked inside, we also saw Miss Takagawa lingering on the floor, huddling with herself, just rambling on about being the only survivor. And if we head over there yet again, you can already tell that something new is waiting for us by the filter on the screen. It seems that Miss Takagawa has some additional company. And it doesn't seem like they're making advances towards her, but she still seems to be in quite a bit of mental anxiety. I guess we should probably go head over there to see if we can't lend some assistance and maybe learn a bit more about this manner of sleep. Now, the manner of sleep I find to be a pretty interesting location, especially in comparison to Himuro Mansion or All Gods Village. I mean, both of those places, even though they did deal with the supernatural and urban legends, well, the manner of sleep is completely outside the realm of reality. So we can't really be sure what we find in here to be true or false, or, just what can happen in here is completely beyond all imagination. But the most we can assume is that there is a real-life danger, as those tattoos we've been getting has obviously been causing Ray pain, but in addition, somehow or another, Miss Takagawa got spirited away out of the hospital. So as we head up the stairs here, we have another vanishing ghost opportunity as a trio head into the room where Miss Takagawa is. And I'm wanting to say, if you do trigger these vanishing ghosts before the other ones in the corridor previously, you won't have an opportunity to catch those, so you gotta be on your toes. But in case you missed the opportunity to take her picture before, you can take another one here. Otherwise, though, her buddies seem to be long gone now.
Stay back.
And it's time for our first real nasty encounter of the game against these bizarre enemies known as Bending Shadows. While somewhat visually like shifting ghosts, they are not really what I would call normal enemies. Obviously, they have very little health. They aren't super aggressive. They only have one real attack, which is very similar to the Limbo Men from Fatal Frame 2, where they will bow at you. But it seems that no matter how many times we knock them down and kill them, more just seem to sprout up right in their place. You might be wondering what we need to do here, and the simple answer to that is, well, kill them until they stop appearing. After you kill about 9 of them or so, they just mysteriously stop appearing. Hopefully now we can maybe get in a word edgewise with Mrs. Takagawa. Or we'll have to fight Mrs. Takagawa. Yeah, after being spirited away into the dream world permanently, she seems to have lost all faculties of being a human being and is now just a vengeful spirit. Still not too difficult to deal with, especially getting a few combos off here and there.
You're not like me.
And that thin line between the dream world and reality seems to have found a tear. Still, it could just be that it was a waking nightmare and nothing more than that. I mean, no one else has been seeing these tattoos, and it could very well be that all this is just in Ray's mind. Still, that does bring into question how she might have heard of Mrs. Takagawa or this whole manner of sleep business, but maybe Miku has some kind words. Or maybe we can learn something more about Miss Yoshina Takagawa. Seems the hospital didn't want to keep around her, what I'm assuming to be very, very not depressing diary. It starts out pleasant enough. Her doctors have told her that maybe keeping track of her thoughts via words might be therapeutic, but clearly as things progress through the diary, things just keep on getting worse and worse, and somehow or another, Miss Takagawa starts to have dreams about a snowy large house. No one believes her, and as time progresses, she finds herself more and more drawn into this world of sleep and less into the waking world. It ends up being too late, though, as she no longer has control over entering or leaving this world of sleep. And we already kind of know what happens in the end. Also, Miku gives us back that picture that we took earlier. Doesn't really give us anything new, except that she does notice some odd markings on Miss Takagawa's arm. It looks a bit like tattoos. Now, normally I would go ahead and call it a video, because we are about to head into the next hour of the game if we did head into Slumber Town. But there are a few additional things waiting around the house on this particular night. See an odd filter on the screen that is usually indicative of some strange goings on around the house somewhere.
Ray, you've been working too hard. You should get some rest.
I think rest is the last thing I need right now. Maybe I should go grab something in the kitchen. No, it doesn't seem like I'm really in the mood to eat anymore. Yeah, we will be seeing little ghostly visitations here and there throughout the game as we venture back into the house. And there will be odd occasions here and there for some very easily missed but not necessary ghosts to capture in the house itself. Such as by heading into the dark room here and then heading back out, we do trigger a vanishing ghost. A bit hard to make out, and I don't think there's any other way to catch it than through the door, but I think that was the shadowy figure of Yoshina Takagawa. And we just have one last thing to capture on this particular night, and that is back up in our bedroom. Now, this is only something available on New Game Plus, but as we head back into our bedroom, we do start to hear some soft whimpering. Well, it doesn't seem like there are too many places for something to hide in here. I get a feeling like the only possible place to hide is in the closet. Well, hi there. It's the young daughter from that mother-daughter pair. But with that, we have caught everything we can on this first hour and on this particular night, so I'm going to go ahead and call it an update. Hopefully you will join me next time as we head back into the Manor of Sleep and see if we can't figure out this whole mystery.